Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be breaking down all the points and costs for the Imperial Fist BattleForce Christmas box set. You may have seen the video I did already, just going over what is included in each of these 8 box sets, but I'm going to be releasing separate videos for most of them, and I'm going to start today with the Imperial Fist Bastion Strike Force to give you a good idea about what's included and how you could use these to potentially start a new army. Right, so here we go. This is the Imperial Fist Battle Force, and really great to see that they're focusing on some of the chapters. There's also one for the Raven Guard, which you'll see later on, but let's carry on with the Imperial Fist. So we're going to see Tor Garadon leading the way. What an awesome model. I've got this in my collection. It's one of my favourites. I think this is one of the best leaders, looking-wise anyway, for 40k. I think it's a great model. You're also going to get those 3 aggressors and 15 heavy intercessors. So that's a serious defensive wall of fire there from 15 of the heavy intercessors. But are these good units to start an army with? I don't know. I think there could be some different ones you could certainly complement this with, but they maybe could have done something a little bit different with the units they've chosen. But let's not focus on that right now. Let's move on and have a look at the costs and the points, and then talk about what we could potentially add to this to make it a fun army to play. So we've got Tor Garadon coming in at £26. The Primaris Aggressors, box of 3, that's going to be £32.50. The Heavy Intercessors, 5 models, £40. And then you've got the Imperial Fists, upgrades and transfers, £16. So putting all of those together, that's going to come to a total of £194.50. In US dollars, the Games Workshop website prices all this at a total of $317. And for euros, I picked out France, and it comes to €262.5. So that's the prices. Now, we are going to be looking at a big discount. This is if you bought them individually. So these Christmas battle boxes, what, £120, £125? So if maybe we can keep it under £130 this year, that would be really great. And then, of course, you're going to save 20% potentially on top of that by shopping at your friendly local game store or with online places like Firestorm Games. And if I can, I'll take this opportunity just to say a big thanks to Firestorm Games for sponsoring the channel. I'll put a link in the description below so you can follow it and save up to 20% on all your hobby products for all your different games, not just Warhammer. So that's down below. Be great if you checked it out. So back to the price, if we can take that £194.50, bring it down to say £125, not confirmed yet though for the Battle Force price, and then take 20% off that, we're looking at potentially £100 for 19 models and those transfer and upgrades. So potentially £100, that's almost half the price from the retail price, so that's got to be a good way to do it. I think these battle forces are brilliant if you're starting an army or adding to one you've already got. But let's look at the points and see how many we're going to get all together here. So Tor Garadon, 135, Aggressors 120, and for every 5 Heavy Intercessors it's 140 points. Now there is potential to add an extra 10 points to every 5-man squad of Heavy Intercessors, so this could take you from the grand total of 675 as the baseline up to 705 points. And it'd be good once I do more of these videos to do a comparison between all the different box sets, just see how many points and the price difference we're going to find for all of them. So let's say worst case 675 points. You're going to get your HQ unit, you're going to get 1 elite unit, and you're going to get between 1 and 3 troop units. With your heavy intercessors, you can put between 5 and 10 models per unit, but I like to have them in groups of 5. I think you get some benefits that way. And if we go down that route, then we're going to have 5 units altogether. 1 HQ, 1 elite, and 3 troops. Getting started with this as your first army could be a really good way to go because it's nice and easy to learn those units. They have the same stats, and I think all round Imperial Fists are pretty easy to learn to play and good fun as well. And so I think this could be a good way to get going. But if you already collect the Imperial Fists, you've probably got Tor Garadon. He's a great model, and it's then got to make the decision, do you really want 15 heavy intercessors? Are they worth those extra points? I think if you were starting off an army at 675 points like this, there may be too many heavy intercessors, but if you're looking at a 2,000 point army, then this could be a great way to get started. You could learn the rules, learn how to play them with what you've got here, and then start adding some more units to it that would really make it much more interesting and fun to play. Here's an older Battle Force that was released for the Imperial Fist with 20 models altogether, and this included the Redemptor Dreadnought, which I think is a fantastic model. If you're playing Space Marines, you've got to have a Dreadnought in the army. He makes a huge difference, and he's got some serious firepower and up-close melee action going on too. For the Imperial Fist, he's got those heavy weapons, so he's going to get all those bonuses in the first round, so that's really important as well. But I think this, for Imperial Fist, you've got to add one in. It's got to be done. Personally, that would be the first unit I would look to add to this, and that's going to take you then up close to your 1,000 point limit, which is a really fun limit to play the game. This is a really cool image where you can see some great tanks in there, a few Redemptor Dreadnoughts, some other Dreadnoughts too, and so a really nice mix of models. But a Gladiator Lancer is something I've added to my army just because I think it looks awesome. It's quite cheap on the points, 150. You've got the heavy weapons again for that first round bonus, but it does draw fire. It doesn't really do an awful lot in my experience, but it is great fun to play, and I think it just looks awesome amongst the other models as well. I'd also be looking to add an intercessor squad or two into there. I think that's important just to get some more models in your army. So you could easily use this as a foundation, I think, this Battle Force set, and then build up from there, add in some more units. Some Hellblasters might be nice for another heavy option. They're going to do some serious damage. But there's some other good ones which we'll have a look at in a second that I think would be good. Also look at some more HQ units just to mix it up a little bit. But I think you can't go wrong having Tor Garadon leading the way. He's such a good model. He looks brilliant on the tabletop and is not messing about with that fist. Here's my army of the Imperial Fist that I play, and a lot of this is put together just because of the models I had, so I didn't have to buy anything extra, but I think having eliminators in your Imperial Fist is a really smart move. 75 points, put the las fusils on there for those heavy weapons again for that first round punch, and that's a really nice cheap unit that can do some serious damage, ignoring cover of your opponent, but also getting extra cover for them if you put them in the right spot. And here's my Redemptor Dreadnought. Again, big fan of this model, works really nicely in there. And then I've also got the Gladiator Lancer, which I think I'm going to try and replace this with a little squad of Hellblasters, very similar on points, and I think these could be quite interesting to see how they work. And instead of the aggressors, I've got these guys. These are the Inceptors, and these are going to be quite good on points and very similar to the aggressors, but I think you get a bit more punch with your firepower, a bit more maneuverability, but up close you certainly are going to lose the melee with that. So having the aggressors in there, it's not bad if you want some melee protection. Teaming those up with Tor Garadon, I think the four of them could be pretty brutal actually. But yeah, there's lots of ways you can go the Imperial Fist, but a shooting army, holding their ground, standing firm, I think is a really fun play style that I enjoy, and I think this Battle Force box set could be a good way to get going with that, but you do really need to be thinking about adding some different units to it and treating it as a base set just to get started with. There we go, so for 194.50 RRP, hopefully bringing it right down to around £125, and then with extra discounts from our friendly retailers for £100, I think this could be a nice way to get going. I think adding this to an existing army, it's a bit annoying that Tor Garadon is in there for that, but otherwise it's a really good way to get hold of some nice models. I'm almost tempted to get this, sell Tor Garadon, keep the heavy intercessors, and then I'd have a nice collection of those going on, but yeah, I'll wait and see on that one. If you like these breakdown videos, then I'm going to be covering some more of the different factions that you get in the 840k Battle Force boxes, and I'm also going to go through some of the Age of Sigmar ones as well. There's only 7, I put 8 in the video for that. I got a bit excited, a bit carried away. There's 7 Age of Sigmar ones, and for me, the one that stood out was a massive surprise. The Thunderstrike Spearhead for the Stormcast Eternals was the winner for me. I didn't expect that at all, and in fact, out of all 15 sets for 40k and Age of Sigmar, that's the one I feel drawn to the most, so that's a bit weird. Didn't expect that at all. But there we go, that's the points and costs breakdown for the Imperial Fist Battle Force box set. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know down below in the comments what you would add to this, and do you think it's a good army set to get started with the Imperial Fist, and would this be something you would add to your existing Imperial Fists army. Looking forward to hearing what you think. But thanks again for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and don't forget to hit that notification bell too to join me here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.